Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that. I was having some technical difficulties. I'm usually never late. I'm usually right on time. Um, I just wanted to talk briefly, right? I won't take up too much of your time, but I wanted to make a video about this while it was fresh on my mind. So I quickly made put together a little presentation here, but it won't be too long at all. It's important that we point out things like this because these people admit, they make these types of admissions all the time. They admit to their guilt all the time in regard to these dog attacks. Right? How y'all doing? Hope y'all having a clean and safe Monday. Right? Josh, Sylvia, Marilyn, Buster, Stars. What is it? Rick Fadukid, Lillian, Four-Legged Plague, Salute, Ricky, All Out, Gling in the building, Nathan Para. All right. Now, this story surfaced. It's dated the 20th, but I think it was first published yesterday or something like that. Some of you may be aware of this story. Pit bull mauls 3-year-old to death. Witness stabs dog in bid to save her. Pit bull mauled a 3-year-old girl to death. Took place on Sunday. Okay, this was in South Africa. It says, child was playing with other children outside her home when the dog attacked her. A spokesperson for the local police said the dog had escaped from a yard through a broken gate prior to attacking the girl. Okay, let me highlight this. The dog had escaped. That's what I want to highlight. It escaped. That's the admission. That's the admission of an unprovoked dog attack. Because they give us all these crazy reasons, right? We can't let them get away with this. They give us all these crazy reasons, right? It's being territorial. It's in pain. It's fearful. It heard a loud noise. It has some type of trauma. You move too fast, right? They, on this list, they forgot predatorial aggression. When they simply chase and attack anything that moves. These are all unprovoked reasons. But they say, they argue that this is the reason inside the mind of a dog. So if a young girl is in front of her house, okay, what did she do? Let me explain what I'm talking about here. This is on K9magazine.com. Some of you may remember I shared this. It says, dogs rarely, if ever, attack for no reason. Us humans often misinterpret a dog attacking out of the blue and without warning because we simply miss the signs. Let's be clear about one thing. A dog who is prepared to bite someone has his reasons. Again, a dog who is prepared to attack someone has his reasons. Can we as humans justify those reasons using the social values of people? Probably not. But of course, dogs do not live their lives according to human social values. Isn't this an admission of an unprovoked attack? This is basically an admission. They're telling you, hey, what we don't view as threatening, dogs view as threatening. It does not matter what goes on in the mind of the dog. It only matters with us. We can't relate to dog mentality, to predator mentality, the mentality of attacking simply because someone moved or is jogging. We don't understand that. So you can't call that, you can't label that a true reason. If it attacks, that's unprovoked. 100%. Anytime they lay these excuses, that's all these are, excuses on you. These are admissions that these things attack for absolutely no reason. The only thing that matters is human standards, because we can only understand ourselves. We should not be beholden or expected to understand and accept reasons that dogs attack. That just does not work. Look at this. Psychology today. These people are so irresponsible. Respected outlets writing this is dangerous propaganda. They said, unless the dog is sick, all bites are provoked by something. Can you believe that? This is criminal. Especially considering how respected psychology today is, for you to write something this reckless. This reckless is criminal. It's criminal. The purpose of aggression, it says, is to put distance, blah, blah, blah. In other words, in the dog's mind, I can't easily get away from you, so you'd better get away from me. We as humans don't understand that. We don't attack simply because somebody is close to us. So there's no justifiable reason to lay that out as a reason. Simply because you understand why dogs attack for no reason. Because you figured out why they attack, does not mean you can apply those reasons to humans. This is common sense. I'm not getting deep here. Common sense. Look, says it's safe to assume then that most dog bites of people are based on the dogs defending themselves, being fearful, or are about the resources that they care about. Really? Where we have all these dog attacks, where people were minding their own business, kids were on their property, minding their own business, and dogs went and attacked them. Look at this. Dog escaped from a house, then attacked 7-year-old girl. How many times have we gone over stories like this? These are all different articles. 2 dogs escaped through a hole and then attacked. Notice how many stories there are like this. where they say the dog escaped through the fence and attacked the child. You see that? I don't know if y'all can see that. Dog escaped through the fence and attacked the child. Now, we have failed to call these people out when they make statements like this. Because the obvious question is, okay, it escaped, so why did the dog attack? You see, because they say that there's always a reason. But yet, when there's an actual attack, they simply say it escaped. Suddenly, all of a sudden, all these reasons that they lay out on us have gone out the window. And they're simply saying that the reason the child was attacked is because the dog escaped. You're admitting that these things attack for absolutely no reason when you say that. Each one of these articles that are worded like this are admissions. Look, dog escaped, then attacked. Dog escaped from a yard and attacked. This has happened more times than we can count. Look, dogs attacked her after escaping through an open gate. How many stories? Every time they say this, look, they don't say that they were attacked after the dog escaped and began to guard its resources. After the dog escaped and then became fearful, was struck with anxiety. After the dog escaped, where are all these excuses now? They simply leave it at the dog escaped. And that's why the victim was attacked. Well, that's an admission. It's really an admission that dogs, when they attack, especially when they attack kids, it's never for any of these reasons. That's essentially what they're saying. You follow me? Does that make sense? There's no food. These kids are not carrying around food. I mean, and if they are, it don't belong to the dog. These kids not carrying around food. They don't say that the child was attacked after the dog escaped and then the dog hurt itself. So by the time it got to the child, it was in pain. And then attacked the child because it was in pain. As crazy as that sounds, what are they talking about? They're admitting in all of these cases, in all of these articles, when it's worded like this, they are admitting that dogs attack for absolutely no reason. And we didn't need them to tell us this. But this just flies into the face of these people who write these disgusting articles. And you know the difference between these people who write these articles and us is that we deal with actual cases. And we draw conclusions based on the nature of each case. Y'all notice that? They don't do that. They simply make stuff up in their mind. And they just don't get called out on it. They have that luxury. What a privilege. They're not even worried about being called out on it. That's why they say it so freely. Oh, it escaped. Why did it attack? Oh, it escaped. Oh. And yet, we all understand that the first thing dogs going to do when they escape is attack somebody. But when you leave it up to our experts to explain why dogs attack, they hit us with all this other mantra that really blames the child or blames the victims. This article, Psychology Today, continued. People and dogs don't speak the same language, and neither is perfectly bilingual. This disconnect sometimes results in interaction, which people consider to be friendly, but dogs view as threatening. Of course, that's another admission that what humans see as friendly, dogs see as a threat. It doesn't matter what the dog sees it as. Only us. Because it's our safety at risk. This interpretation or whatever is not going to result in the dog being harmed. It's always going to result in the human being attacked. So our perception is all that matters. And if it interprets harmless behavior as a threat, then you need to keep it away from us. That's the very reason they need to be kept away from us. Illegal to own. Kept out of our communities. That's the very reason. These people admit everything to us all the time through their rhetoric. It continued. It said, if your dog is anxious, a visitor bending to tie a shoelace might be seen as a significant threat. Why is it feeling anxious in the first place? That's another problem. Creatures that attack out of anxiety, that get filled with anxiety for absolutely no reason. Like literally. As I showed, they can be filled with anxiety simply by walking on grass, walking on a new surface. Literally nothing. Doesn't matter what the dog thinks. Oh, a new surface. It's time to be full of anxiety. That's literally no reason at all. And because it's anxious, all crazy and brain dead, you bend over, it attack you. You remember that article where they said a person can just stand up? Dog could see that as a threatening gesture to stand up. So these are all admissions. They're all admissions. And they always try to segue into a failure to read the dog's body language. They want to get off the subject of the attack and that they attack for no reason at all. They want to say, well, you failed to notice the dog's body language and the signs of an attack. That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. I don't care if it takes the dog 5 hours to attack. I don't care if it's showing signs for 5 hours. The problem is that it eventually attacks for whatever reason in its stupid head. And that's not my problem. That is not my problem what goes on in the head of animals out here in the world. It is my problem when they come and attack me as a result. And I'm not going to treat those animals that do that like family. Right? Dogs are often uncomfortable when people face them. Y'all see that? Isn't that an admission? That they attack for no reason? Again, we don't understand that as humans. You can't apply that to us. Well, it attacked you because you were facing it. When people face them, wow. When they stare, when they reach toward or above them. In other words, any movement. They want you to pretend as if they don't exist. the dogs want you to pretend like you don't see them at all. But yet then, if they see you with your back turned to them, that will provoke them to attack you. Sounds to me like these things have no business in our territory. Right? Look at this. This is all admitted by Psychology Today. It said dogs are not great fans of being in a room. Oh, it attacked you because it's uncomfortable with being inside of a room. People, they are literally saying that any and everything will be seen as a reason to attack. In other words, that means they attack for nothing at all. I've said this before. And it's crazy to see how it's just everywhere. Here it is right here. It says, remember that dogs can quickly change their minds about interactions with people or with other dogs. Those who seem to accept a sitting visitor might jump and bite a standing visitor. So you're standing up. That's why it attacked you. Or you stood up. That's why it attacked you. How incompatible with humans can you get? That is as incompatible with humans as you could possibly get, no matter what organism you are. What in the world are these people? These people they're going beyond admitting that these things attack for no reason. They're getting into detail about how these things attack for absolutely no reason. And it's been right under our noses the whole time. These ain't nothing but admission. And they're getting into detail about how exactly why these things attack for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. Exposing this worthless dog cult, it really does give me a rush. Nothing feels better than the truth. Nothing feels better than justice. Right? May justice be restored to this planet ASAP. My goodness. So big shout out to everybody who joined me in this short stream. Always be mindful, prepared, and armed to shoot down the lies that are spewed by these dog nuts as we continue with this crusade against these worthless mutants and their enabling owners.